and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy. Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. We have made it to a Friday. It is the 7th day of November for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day the right way with all the news, weather, and sports you need to get out the door here this morning. We're jam-packed, lots of things to talk about. Of course, the Nebraska football team getting ready to play at UCLA on Saturday. The Nebraska volleyball team, they did what they do best, and that's sweep their opponents in the Big Ten. They did it again last night with a 3-game victory over Illinois at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Men's basketball team getting ready for their second game of the season. They will host Florida International tomorrow at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Later on in the day, the Nebraska women will play their second game of the year as they will play host to Samford. We got some news out of Hastings College. The school evidently adding 3 new sports to its athletic offerings. We'll talk about that coming up. Men's basketball team going to be in action tonight at the Cattle Classic in Seward. Hastings College women's soccer team will play in the semifinals of the GPAC tournament this weekend. The Nebraska Kearney volleyball team, they've got 2 matches planned for this weekend. The state high school volleyball tournament continues in Lincoln. State high school football playoffs will continue tonight across the state. So all that and more is coming up here this morning as you wake up and get going with Mike and Tyson on Huddle Up. In addition to all that stuff, we got our Blazing 5, which this week is the Frozen 5 after our performance last week. So we've got our weekend predictions coming up at 7:30 this morning. So other than that, there's not a whole lot going on as we welcome in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios. Good morning, my man.
Yeah, I was listening to the preview here for the show. I'm not quite sure why I had to get up on my last snooze button here. I think you've pretty much got the hour handled on just a long sportscast here today. We've certainly got a lot to get to, lot to discuss. And I guess first and foremost, man, watching that volleyball team last night, once again, just incredible performance. This is a machine on wheels, and it's incredible to watch. Just how dominant Nebraska volleyball is, and it's hard to put it in perspective because we've kind of established that culture, that championship culture here on the volleyball side of things where, and I was talking to a few folks last night and we all kind of like sat there and thought the same thing. Like, we have taken victories and sweeps, for that matter, all of this stuff kind of like for granted. We were getting angry at Illinois for going on just like a tiny little run in that second set at the very beginning, and it was like, oh, I can't believe we're playing like crap. And then all of a sudden we kind of looked around and went, what do you mean we're playing like crap? We haven't lost a set in God knows how many forever and a day ago. Maybe let's put this in perspective and be proud of it. But another dominating performance for Nebraska volleyball as they take down the Fighting Illini. Just really, really impressed with DBK and what she's been able to do here with this team, taking over the reins for the legend John Cook.
Yeah, so the Huskers winning in straight sets last night over Illinois. If we're talking volleyball, here's what Danny Bus Boom Kelly had to say about her team as she's trying to keep her team engaged here as they go on this little run this year.
I don't really feel like that myself or the staff's done anything different or anything that, new. The team's taking care of business, and they're the ones that come and focus every day, and I think our leadership's been good, and I think they continue to be hungry. I also think the depth of this team helps. Like I've said all year, it helps when you're in practice. Practices are really tough, and even in November, you saw tonight, like the positions are still pretty thin of, the changes we can make. So you got to work hard every day, or somebody else can get it done. And I also feel like our team knows it's just a matter of time before we really get pushed, and they're trying to the best they can to stay ahead of that.
So the Huskers sitting at 23-0 in the season. They're 13-0 in the conference. They will play at Minnesota on Saturday. First serve there will be at 2:30. So a quick turnaround. Huskers on the road at Minnesota on Saturday. Again, 2:30 starting time for Nebraska volleyball. Wanted to get you up to date on our Survivor. We told you the picks had to be in by 6. They were in. Ty Schleicher and Tyler Mortz, the last two individuals left on the Survivor Island. And kind of interesting, Ty Schleicher, he kind of went out on the limb a little bit this week. We'll see how this fares. He's got Carolina. He's got Carolina to beat the Saints.
Yeah.
And Tyler Moritz has got Buffalo over Miami, so he still had Buffalo to use. I like that selection a little bit better. If you've still got Buffalo left to use, you've got a user here in the ball game against Miami. But Ty Schleicher kind of goes out on the limb a little bit and picks Carolina to beat the Saints. They should, but I wouldn't call that one a shoe-in.
No, but I like the pick. The running back, the running game for Carolina has been sensational. New Orleans has got injury woes. Alvin Kamara still kind of got that questionable designation. They've ran a different quarterback out there with the Louisville guy, whose name I still can't believe is pronounced the way it is. But so yeah, I can see it. I can see Carolina as potentially good pick. I was kind of looking in that direction on the Blazing 5, to be honest with you, before I ultimately settled on my 5 picks this week. I can tell you we're going to go into the Frozen 5, and I'm not walking in with a whole lot of confidence. It was tough pickings out there. I thought Vegas pretty much had the spreads nailed down to a T. There wasn't a lot of wiggle room. They didn't give me a lot of opportunities to be like, oh yeah, they can win by the way Vegas has put these spreads together this season, especially the last couple weeks. It's been tough, and it was not easy. It is not easy, folks, to come up with 5 games. And in fact, if we're going to be listening in at 7:30 to potentially run up to the Grand Island Casino and Resort to head to the Elite Sports Bar and place down some of these bets, I would do it with a little caution. Take a little bit of everything we say and maybe form your own parlay today, because I'm not running up there with my 5 games. That's for damn sure.
The way we've been performing lately, nobody is going to hop in their car with the money in hand and go to Grand Island and bet our picks.
I think that you can take a little bit of everything we all say to maybe form a 3-game parlay. Certainly not 5, but you could get a 3-gamer out of what we've got.
I would hope.
But it's ultimately it's gonna come kind of your own judgment calls on that stuff. But there's a lot of tough games, so we'll get into that coming up at 7:30. Carolina for Schleicher, Buffalo. How do you get to week? What are we? Week 9?
Week 10, I think.
Week 10. You get to 10 weeks and you haven't taken the Buffalo Bills yet. The
game last night. The game last night.
There was a game last night.
A real stinker. Denver. You don't get Prime, so you don't.
Well, no, football wasn't played last night, so
it was bad. Denver beat the Raiders last night by a score of 10-7.
Jesus.
But a win is a win. The Broncos now 8-2. They're on top of the AFC West. The Raiders are now at 2-7. So, yeah, Denver. And if you had Bo Nix as a fantasy player like I did, I didn't even look. When I saw the score this morning, 10-7, I didn't watch the game last night. Checked the score this morning, 10-7, and I've got Bo Nix in the starting lineup. I can't be happy with that.
We're playing each other this week.
Yeah, I know we are.
I had Genty going for the Raiders. At least the one Raiders touchdown went through Genty, so got my 12 points that way. I'm going in with some question marks into the game, kind of some questionable designations. So I'm certainly not counting my chickens before they're hatched, but 6 points for Bo Nix. Good effort.
Wow. I'm cooked this week.
150 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 picks.
Denver beats the Raiders by a score of 10-7. All right, some stuff already starting to roll in on our social media sites. Thanks for joining us here this morning. It's Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for a Friday. Yeah, what's the Ryan Martin guy going? KU at North Carolina basketball tonight.
First time Bill Self is taking a team to Chapel Hill.
That's interesting.
RCG. Oh, Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Okay. I didn't understand the shorthand for Kansas fans. Rock Chalk Jayhawk, RCJH. That is an interesting stat. You'd think that as blue blood as both of those schools are in college basketball, that there would have been a time or two where they would have scheduled kind of a home and home. But no.
All right, Shano's already chiming in. The NFL game was so bad last night. His TV started buffering out of mercy. Bad game.
There was volleyball on last night.
Denver.
Why would you waste your heartbeats watching Broncos and Raiders? Like, there was so much better TV on.
Let's see.
We got Don Brown. I'm thinking if the Chiefs can put it together, we should have no problem with the Donkeys next week.
Yeah, they play. Denver and Kansas City play next week.
Also, it's not going to be Denver on a Thursday, so.
Yeah, Thursday night games continue to be.
They're awful.
Yeah, for some reason. So anyway,
Prime cannot be happy. They've got this Thursday night designation. They're getting NFL football on their streaming service, and the NFL is continuing to just hand them out clunker after clunker after clunker after clunker. Listen, I watched some of the highlights. The highlight tape was like 3 minutes. Okay, normally the NFL puts out these gigantic highlight packages. They're 15 to 17 minutes game recap. This one was like 3. It was
10-7.
I know, but it was bad. It was ugly. It was mistake. The highlights were more on the mistakes that were made than actual good highlight plays. You can't continue to turn out this crap and have people continue to watch. Prime's going to be begging for some better Thursday games down the road, but like I said, man, I'm not playing any of that Thursday shit. That's just way too cursed. So it was a brutal game again last night.
All right, the Nebraska men's and women's basketball teams, they will be in action tomorrow, their second games of the season. The Nebraska men will take on Florida International tomorrow at PBA. Huskers opening up the season on Monday with that 86-53 win over West Georgia. Husker head coach Fred Hoiberg, he says he wants his team to get off to a better start in this one.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of learning lessons from that first game, especially in those first 5 minutes where we really let West Georgia come in and control the glass and we turn the ball over. And that's something that we're going to be challenged at a much higher rate in this game against FIU. They're long, athletic, and they do a great job of forcing turnovers. So we have to come out of the gate with urgency. We have to play the right way. They are really, really good in transition. If we do turn it over, they're going to capitalize on it. In early games, it's important to get off to a fast start. And, generally the team that gets off to the better start in those early games is the team that ends up on top.
And the coach says Florida International going to be a big basketball team.
Yeah, they're going to be big most of the game at the 4-5 and very athletic. And that's one thing that they put a lot of stress on your defense. They've got forceful rim rollers, and they are all over the glass, and they're going every time. And their 3-man is his ability to play in ISO type situations with his size at 6'6". He actually played with Oogie at Bakersfield, and he can really score the basketball. And again, another guy that's athletic. And then their guards, they're one of the two are jet quick, and they're really good in transition, and they can get hot from 3. And those bigs they're good in the pocket. They block shots very similar to 22 in the first game, but they got 4 of those guys, not only one. And if we go in there and try to challenge them at the rim, it's going to lead to transition baskets on the other end. So again, a lot of learning lessons from that first game that will definitely carry over into this next one. But just, out of the gate, we need to play a lot smarter. I thought we got rushed a little bit. This team will try to speed us up with different presses that they're going to run, and it's imperative that we handle that the right way.
So a doubleheader tomorrow with PBA, the Nebraska men taking on Florida International at noon. The Nebraska women will take on Sanford at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So both Husker teams are 1-0 in the season, looking to win their second games tomorrow at home against some opponents. Florida International,
Yep,
I've heard of. And Sanford, I've kind of heard of, but
Sanford Bulldogs.
Yeah, certainly not to powerhouses, but that's what we get early in the season for basketball.
FIU, don't be surprised if we're in another tussle around the first half with FIU. Hoiberg says big. That's just big on a whole nother level. These guys have length. These guys can get down inside. They're going to get dirty. They're going to make it a physical contest. We might have to sit some players due to foul trouble early on because that's the way they're going to play. They're athletic. They come out of that Conference USA, which just produces a lot of really, really good, talented athletes that, for lack of a better way to sugarcoat it, will hit the transfer portal at the end of next season because they are super talented, just didn't get the looks that they were looking for the blue blood. So they've got athletes, and I think it'll be a very physical, tough battle for the Big Red come Saturday.
All right, that's a noon game for the guys, and then 5 o'clock for the women at PBA. Then the Nebraska football team, they will play at night. So a full day of Husker sports tomorrow. The Husker football team will play out on the West Coast against UCLA. Matt Rule, he took a look at the Bruins. Of course, UCLA on kind of a run here. Midpoint of their season, they've won 3 out of their last 4 games.
They really started to use the quarterback's legs. It looked like maybe they simplified the offense. They've taken chances. They faked punts. I think they faked 3 punts. I said 4 the other day, but one was just a slow knee, so three punts. But the quarterback is the leading passer. He's also the leading rusher. Now, that's not in every game. Some of the games, they've gotten to some zone reads, and the tailbacks have hit big, long, explosive runs, and they're converting a ton of third downs now. And I think the third down really has been the magic for them. There was an 18-play drive. They think they completed 3 or 4 of them, and the quarterback can do it. He's an outstanding player. He can do it with his feet as much as his arms. So if you play zone coverage, he'll find the holes. If you play man coverage, he's going to duck the ball down and run. He outruns people's. They have a rat on him, a spy on him. He outruns the guy. So it's a great week for our D-line. They have to produce, they have to show up, and they have to pass rush. And the challenge when you go against a mobile quarterback is sometimes guys start to just latch on and try to keep him in the pocket. Well, that's no way to play football, right? You have to get off and beat the guy in front of you, and then transition your eyes to the quarterback and accelerate. And so I know it's been an emphasis this week. It's been an emphasis all year: mobile quarterbacks versus us. And we'll have to play our best game, especially coming off last week. We had to have a player accounted for the quarterback on every single play. Sometimes people ask me about the count. Well, they're reading the backside of the counter, so I'm sure we'll see some of that. So, it's a challenge anytime you have a running quarterback and you're in zone read with gap schemes and zone schemes, and they have all of it. So, the good news for us is it's 2 weeks in a row of dealing with it, and hopefully we can put it all together.
All right, that's Husker head coach Matt Rule. The Huskers and the Bruins of UCLA tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. You'll be able to see that game on Fox. The coach said they're having some problems with their flights because of the government shutdown and the problems that the air traffic controllers are having. They're reducing flights around the nation at several of the major airports, and the Huskers' flights to Los Angeles might be one of them. So as of yesterday, during this press conference, they were still trying to figure out how they were going to get to California. So hopefully they got that figured out.
Surely the millionaires in this state with private jets can get them out to California.
I'm sure they fly commercial, don't they? I don't know. They probably have a charter. I don't know.
Probably just having trouble getting the flight planned because there's no air traffic controllers.
Yeah, that's. Anyway,
what a disaster.
They were going to get out there. Coach says he didn't care if they were going to leave at 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday or tonight or today.
Well, I would care about leaving at 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, jet lag, and then having to go play a football game at 8 p.m. at night.
That's his worries. He wasn't worried about it. So, they'll get out there one way or the other.
I'll have to change my score prediction. God damn it.
What's the problem?
Well, if we're going to not be rested,
you're going to be rested.
Then I'm going to change my score prediction.
Yeah, we'll get to that right before 8 o'clock. Huskers and UCLA. One other thing before the news break here. Hastings College is adding 3 sports to their athletic offerings. The school will be adding men's and women's swimming and diving and women's flag football.
Nice.
To its sports offerings beginning with the 2026-2027 academic year. Men's and women's swimming and diving will compete as a winter sports. The addition of the program is made possible through a community partnership with the YMCA of Hastings, which will serve as the team's practice and competition facility. The women's flag football team will take to the field in the spring. Now, earlier this year, Hastings College also announced the addition of men's volleyball, which begins the season coming up on January the 30th. So a whole bunch of new sports offerings at Hastings College, men's and women's swimming and diving in the winter, and then women's flag football in the springtime.
We're going to have to hire more staff and get more channels.
Yeah, we better get a hold of the IT guy. Our spring might be busy. Flag football, women's flag football. We'll have, I think, men's volleyball stretches into the spring. We'll have baseball. We'll have softball. Yeah, the spring's going to be busy. So anyway, that's coming in 2026, 2027. So we got a while to develop that. We'll effort Chris Clements, the athletic director at Hastings College. We're trying to get him on the show here in the next week or so to discuss this. But that was big news coming out of Hastings College as they're adding some new sports, men's and women's swimming and diving, and women's flag football to its sports offerings.
There you go. Before we get into the news break, we do have our answer to why North Carolina, Kansas never played in the regular season. It was because Roy Williams didn't want to do a home and home since he had coached at both North Carolina and Kansas.
Well, that's no reason.
Apparently, it was the reason. So,
yeah, I would think that'd be kind of a neat deal to go back and play against your old team.
I'm just asking the Kansas expert. So,
yeah, I know he's the Kansas guru, but. Yeah, I don't see any problem with that. I think coaches do that. I can't name one, but I'm sure that's happened before.
You do that if you left unceremoniously. If you were shoved and thrown the door. The very first team that I want on the schedule in 2026 when I land my new coaching job is the school that just fired me.
Put them on the schedule.
Absolutely.
Then hopefully go in there and win.
There's no hopefully about it. Like, you're going to win that football game.
All right, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. We've got the Blazing Five coming up here shortly. Also, get a visit from Andrew Kuda. He's the head football coach at Sandy Creek. The Cougars going to be in action in the state high school football playoffs this afternoon against Bridgeport. That game will kick off at 5. It's a game we'll have here on Extreme Sports beginning at 4:45 this afternoon. So a lot to talk about in the second half of the show. Again, thanks for joining us here on Extreme Sports. You can chime in if you'd like on the Hamilton Telecommunications fan line at 402-834-1330. 402-834-1330. Leave a message on our social media sites as well, as we're monitoring that as we wake up, get going on a Friday morning. You're listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
We'll start in McCook this morning, where the facility formerly known as the McCook Work Ethic Camp is now hosting detainees under the custody of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. According to Governor Jim Pillen, it became operational as detention space for ICE on Monday night, with around 50 to 60 detainees as of Thursday morning and a target capacity of 200 here in Phase 1. A second construction phase to add 100 beds is planned to open in early 2026. Locally, there is opposition. McCook residents have filed a lawsuit seeking to stop a conversion of the work camp into an immigration detention facility. A temporary injunction was denied. The American Civil Liberties Union of Nebraska states that it will continue to challenge the project, calling it a, quote, disgraceful stunt, end quote, and pledging to ensure detainee rights are respected. Meanwhile, 20 miles to the north, the Grand Island Fire Department has officially completed its transition to the new Fire Station number 3, marking the end of an era for the department's longtime facility on South Webb Road. Crews began demolishing the former Station 3 on Wednesday morning, clearing the way for the final site work on the new facility's parking lot. Originally built in 1987, the old station served the southwest portion of Grand Island for nearly 40 years. The new Fire Station number 3 features more than 500 additional square feet, a larger truck bay, expanded living quarters, and modern safety features developed through years of fire service study. 9 firefighters will staff the station across 3 shifts, with capacity to grow to 15. 7:27. With that, lots going on in sports. For all of the latest, here's Mike Will.
Yeah, the Nebraska football team will play at UCLA on Saturday. This will be the 15th overall meeting between the two teams, with each team winning 7 games. The Bruins won 27-20 last year in Lincoln. Kickoff will be at 8 o'clock on Fox. The Nebraska volleyball team beat Illinois 25-11, 25-15, 25-14 last night at the Devaney Center. It was the 14th consecutive sweep for the Huskers. Nebraska has now won 43 sets in a row. Andy Jackson led the way with 9 kills. Nebraska now 23-0 in the season, 13-0 in the conference. They'll play at Minnesota on Saturday at 2:30. As we mentioned, the Nebraska men's basketball team will host Florida International tomorrow at PBA. Huskers are 1-0 in the season after Monday's 86-53 win over West Georgia. Tip-off will be at noon. The women's basketball team will play Sanford at 5. The Huskers opened the season on Monday with a 103-46 win over Northwestern State. Hastings College football team has the weekend off. The Broncos will wrap up their season next Saturday at Dakota Wesleyan. Hastings College women's soccer team will play Concordia tomorrow in the semifinals of the conference tournament. Kickoff will be at 6 in Seward. Hastings College men's basketball team will play in the Cattle Classic this weekend in Seward. The Broncos will play Clark of Iowa tonight at 8 and Oklahoma City tomorrow afternoon beginning at 4. The Nebraska Kearney football team has the weekend off. The Lopers will host Central Missouri coming up next Saturday. The UNK volleyball team will host Washburn tonight at 6 and Emporia State tomorrow afternoon at 3. At the state high school volleyball tournament yesterday, Utan, Freeman, Oakland Craig, and Laurel Concord Coleridge won opening round games in Class C2. The D1 winners were Amherst, Exeter Milligan Friend, Overton, and Shelton. In Class D2, Wynot beat Red Cloud 25-23, 25-13, and 25-19. The other winners were Dundee County Stratton, Sumner Eddyville Miller, and Cambridge. Semifinals will be played today. The finals are set for Saturday. The state high school football playoffs continue tonight. Sandy Creek will play Bridgeport in the quarterfinals of the Class D1 state playoffs. Kickoff will be at 5 this afternoon. We'll have the game on Extreme Sports, beginning with a pregame show at 4:45. In some other games tonight, Kearney will play at Omaha Westside. Aurora is at Columbus Lakeview. Archbishop Bergen is at Grand Island Central Catholic. Malcolm is at Kearney Catholic. Lawrence Nelson is at Howells Dodge. Silver Lake is at Garden County. And Red Cloud is at Wallace. In the NFL last night, Denver got by the Las Vegas Raiders by the score of 10-7. Broncos are now 8-2 on the season. The Raiders are 2-7. That's a check on your sports headlines coming up on 7:31 at Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Chilly weather is on the way as we close out the weekend, but first on Friday, plenty of sunshine, a high in the mid-60s, and a west-northwest wind gusting up to 20 miles per hour. On Saturday, we cranked the winds up out of the northwest, gusting to 30 miles per hour, highs in the mid-50s with mostly sunny skies. Saturday night to Sunday morning, we're in the low 20s. Sunday with a high of 37 under mostly sunny skies. 17 to start off Monday morning, 45 and sunny on Monday.
West winds this morning at 9 miles per hour. Partly cloudy. It's 42 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
The holidays are starting to bloom at Bob Sass Flowers. Discover festive floral arrangements, cozy seasonal home decor, and perfect gifts for everyone on your list. From seasonal stems to scented candles and ornaments, everything you need to make your home merry and bright is right here. Don't miss our holiday sale Monday through Saturday, November 10th through the 15th. We are open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5, and Saturday, November 15th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We will have 20% off savings store-wide. Save on gifts and home decor for the holidays. Join us for our annual Ladies' Night Out, November 11th from 5 to 8 p.m. at our store in Hastings. We will have pop-up shops IME Boutique, the Tri Boutiques Charm Bar, Back Alley Bakery's food truck, and Sweet Herb Sourdough Bakery. Come for a night full of shopping and fun. Bob Sass Flowers is located at 2618 West 2nd Street in Hastings, serving Hastings since 1955.
At Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center in Hastings, you can now experience the Balancer Pro lymphatic system, a relaxing, touchless treatment that works while you simply sit back. Using the principles of manual lymphatic drainage, it helps flush out swelling, reduce toxins, ease muscle soreness, and promote total body wellness. Whether you're recovering from surgery, looking to contour and tone, aiming for weight loss, or just wanting to feel lighter and more energized, the Balancer Pro lymphatic system delivers results you can feel immediately. Perfect for athletes, post-op recovery, detox, or anyone who just wants to look and feel their best, because it's for everybody with a body. Come try it today at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings.
I'm John Butler, Funeral Director and Owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the Advanced Funeral Planning Specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboards and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson and Bronick with you as a huddle up for this Friday, the 7th day of November. By the way, now you can play our trivia game or watch all of our sports activity that we have on our Roku channel at a third location. We're at the Tank in downtown Hastings, as well as Bullseye Sports Bar and Grill and the District 14 Bar and Pizza. So those are the spots you can play trivia at a bar location. Maybe get your friends together. Get something going. Watch any one of our sports games that we have our Roku channel. It's available at those 3 locations. So if you're out and about, you can enjoy that. 7:35. Is it time? Is it time?
It is.
God, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to press this button.
Bundle up.
But because of our misery that we went through last week, I was the only one to carry us last week. 3-2.
It's getting frosty in here.
You were 2-3. The IT guy was 2-3. It's
Get
time.
on with it.
Press the button. Get on with it. It's time for the Frozen 5.
You're as cold as ice. Let's kick it. Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice.
Baby, it's cold outside.
I've gotta go away.
Baby, it's cold outside.
It's time for the Extreme Sports Frozen 5.
Yeah, we've got to get back to the Blazing 5, and we're going to do it this week. So here are my selections for this week in our Blazing 5/Frozen 5. Ohio State is playing at Purdue. The Buckeyes are favored by 29.5 points.
It's a lot.
Ohio State 8-0 straight up, 7-0-1 against the spread this season, giving them the best cover rate in the nation. They've been favored by 14.5 points or more in their past 4 Big Ten contests and have covered with room to spare in all those games. I don't like laying this many points, but give me the Buckeyes on the road, giving 29.5 points at Purdue. Staying in the Big Ten, Indiana is playing at Penn State. Indiana, a 14.5 point favorite.
That's a lot.
The Hoosiers are averaging 245 yards per game rushing. The Nittany Lions are 90th in the nation in rushing defense. I like Indiana going to Penn State and beating the Nittany Lions. Give me the Hoosiers. Oregon is playing at Iowa. Iowa is 4th in the nation in points per game allowed at 13.1. And this Iowa defense has held Indiana to its lowest scoring total of the season at 20 points. They're also among the best in the country at limiting explosive plays. The Hawkeyes have allowed the second fewest plays of 10 yards or more in the nation, tied with Ohio State and Oregon. This game is going to be close. So give me the Hawkeyes in this one to cover the 6.5 point spread with Oregon. Couple of games in the NFL. Philadelphia is playing at Green Bay this week. The Packers are favored by 2.5 points. Philadelphia, did you know? Philadelphia is 4-0, coming off of a bye week under their head coach, Nick Sirianni. The Packers are going to be without Tucker Kraft, who is out for the season with a knee injury. And don't forget, it was the Packers who proposed banning the tush push last offseason. So grab your tush this week. I'm on the Eagles. They'll go in to cover against Green Bay. Grab your tushies, and I'm on the Eagles. And then Jacksonville is playing at Houston. Texans favored by 1.5 points. The Jags offense struggling at best. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence ranks 32nd among 33 qualified quarterbacks in completion percentage this season at 59.7%. Now they're facing a Houston defense that leads the league in points allowed per game at 15.1 and yards allowed per game at 267.4. So give me the Texans.
No C.J. Stroud this week.
I don't care. I'm on the Texans and the Eagles, the Hawkeyes, the Hoosiers, and the Buckeyes. And that is my Frozen 5 for this week.
I'm taking a little bit more of a gut approach, per usual. When all else fails, just go with the gut, right? Florida International is playing Nebraska in basketball on Saturday. They're also playing Middle Tennessee State at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in a big Coosa Battle of the Bads.
What?
Florida International's 3-5. Middle Tennessee State is 1-7. Middle Tennessee State is a 1.5-point dog. I'm taking the favorites here. Give me the Panthers. They have the best road uniforms in all of college football.
Are you kidding me?
I'm going strictly for the love of the uniform here. FIU at -1.5. We're going to stay in the Coosa in the Conference USA. I have never lost in my history a game where I bet against the UTEP Miners. I think UTEP is qualifying for one of the worst college football teams in the history of bad college football teams. UTEP's horrible. They're playing the Gamecocks of Jacksonville State. And it's not Jacksonville, Florida. It's Jacksonville, Georgia. Jacksonville State from the state of Georgia at 5-3 on the season, a 1.5-point favorite. I'll take the Gamecocks. Then we move on, the 8:30, the night game. The UNLV Rebels, who have been a cash cow for the IT guy. Time I hop on board and start collecting some of this cash. Going to take UNLV at -4.5 on the road in Colorado Springs to knock off the Colorado State Rams. My last college football prediction. I'm all aboard the Big Red Express. This 1.5-point line does not scare me in the slightest.
Uh-oh.
With TJ Lateef and all, Nebraska goes to Pasadena, covers the spread, wins the football game, silences the haters, and restores some sanity in Husker Nation.
Wow.
Give me the Big Red Saturday. And then Monday, Eagles, Packers. You mentioned all the reasons that Green Bay is going to struggle. This is more vindictive on my part. Green Bay knocked me out of Survivor last week, so screw the Packers. I am on the Philadelphia Eagles Eagles this weekend.
Where do you come up with your picks?
I could take you through the process that goes on in my brain, but it's a wild one. With a lot of, you ever see like people connect dots on conspiracy theories and try to navigate a case or a maze to find out how they're going to get to a selected outcome? That's kind of what goes on in my brain. Whole lot of dogs barking. I just pick a few games that I like. I love Conference USA football almost as much as I love the MAC. I think I got a pretty good handle on the Coosa and the talented teams. So we're gonna dive into Conference USA this week to find some winners.
All right, I'm gonna put our picks up on the screen of people watching us. The IT guy, he's got the Iowa Hawkeyes. He's with me with the Iowa Hawkeyes this week against Oregon. He's also on Nebraska with you.
There you go.
IT guy is with Nebraska. He's also on Texas Tech.
I don't know about that game. That's going up against BYU.
And then he's got the Steelers.
Ooh.
Who's the Steelers playing this week? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Steelers are a 2.5-point dog. And he's on the Bills.
Damn it, Shane.
So there goes your Bills this week.
There goes Ty Moritz.
Yeah, we might have a winner in the Survivor this week. So there's our picks. Take them for what they're worth.
Steelers are playing the Chargers. That's bold.
Steelers are on the Chargers.
That's a bold pick.
So there's our picks. I'm 25-30 on the season. Looking to get, if I go 5-0 this week, I can get back to 500.
If you go 5-0, you can get back to 500. That's cute. You'll still be probably a third place.
You're on top at 33-22. There's your selections.
Games over 500. I could take a few weekends off and
still be around 500. IT guy is sitting right around the 500 mark at 29-26. So there's our selections for the week. Again, hopefully we can get you some cash this week.
So maybe if you're taking this up to the casino for whatever reason, if you decide to take our Frozen 5 and our run of luck recently, I'm probably playing the games we agree with, right? If I'm going to put together a 3-team parlay, if two sports guys can get together and say, yeah, Iowa over Oregon, and two sports guys can get together and say, yeah, Nebraska over UCLA, and if me and you can go, yeah, Eagles over Green Bay, that might be the parlay play. Iowa to cover against Oregon, Nebraska to cover against UCLA, Philadelphia to cover against Green Bay. Let's see if we can at least cash in on a 3-teamer this weekend.
Wow. Now that you spit that out, I kind of like that.
Right?
I kind of like that. Could be your 3-teamer. So, anyway, those are our selections for this week. We'll see how we turn out on Monday. 7:47, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Again, we'll have football later on today. It'll be a Sandy Creek taking on Bridgeport in the Class D1 quarterfinals from the Hill down at Sandy Creek, and a chance to meet up with Cougar head coach Andrew Kuda. All right, Coach, a win over Exeter Milligan, friend, and a win over Wisner Pilger to get you into the quarterfinals of the state playoffs. Talk about the first two games of the state playoffs. Your team's playing well.
Yeah, I thought really both of those games, our guys came out and played a really solid game. I thought offensively we've been sharp. Defensively, I've liked how we've kind of flied around the field and been physical and really executed game plans. So our first 2 weeks in, we're pretty happy with what we've done.
Talking about your quarterback last week, Cam Seeley in the ball game against Wisner Pilger, 14 out of 14 throwing the ball for 211 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's been really sharp for us this year. He's really grown throughout the year, gaining a better understanding of our offense and where we're trying to go with the ball. I think the guys up front deserve a lot of credit for keeping a clean pocket for him. I think the guys running routes deserve a lot of credit for not only getting open, but then also catching the football. But no, he's been really sharp for us, and been really impressed with his play as of late.
Of course, you guys won the state championship a year ago, but it's never easy to make a playoff run, Coach. You enter the quarterfinals. Credit to your guys for staying focused here.
Yeah, we've got some guys that are still hungry. They're still kind of mission-minded. They're mission-focused. This group doesn't want to be the group that falls short. Their expectations for themselves are just as high or higher than anybody else around them, and they want to have an opportunity to do it again.
All right, you got Bridgeport in this next round. They're 9-1 in the season. Scouting report on the Bulldogs.
Yeah, they're a really solid program. They have some really good size. They have some big athletes at tight end. Their position players are really athletic. They move well. Defensively, they fly around. They're physical. They run a similar offense to ours, where they're trying to put guys in space and give them the ability to make plays that way. So it's going to be a tough night both offensively and defensively. They're a solid team.
Looks like a balanced attack. They rush the football for about 209 yards per game. They throw it for about 120 yards per game. So it looks like they want to be a balanced team. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And their quarterback's one of his best abilities is his ability to make plays in space and to kind of create something when nothing's there. He does a great job of moving the pocket around and making plays within it, but then he'll also escape it and tuck and run. So he's going to be a handful.
Yeah, their quarterback is throwing for 1,076 yards, 29 touchdowns. He's rushed for 703 yards and 9 touchdowns. What's the key to maybe keeping him under control in this ball game?
It's really important that everybody does their job within our defense. We have guys in lanes that they have to maintain those lanes and not get washed out. We have to be disciplined with our eyes and be disciplined and fundamentally sound on option. And then we just got to get him down on first contact. He's a guy that if he breaks tackles, he's going to be really dangerous, so we got to get him down.
And defensively, Coach, they've recorded one shutout so far this season during the regular season. They've got 3 other games that they allowed only 6 points, so their defense very stingy. What do you like about their defense?
They have a good combination of size and physicality up front and then some athletes on the back end that make plays for them. So they're a tough group. They play a lot of man coverage. They trust their defensive backs to make those plays, and they have a couple really solid linebackers that come downhill and make plays in the run game. So they're a pretty complete group on the defensive side of the ball.
As you move throughout the state playoffs, obviously taking a step up in a competition, this game is not easy, Coach. This is a pretty good ball club we'll see here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're on the same tier as a Fair Central or Shelby Rising City. They're a really solid opponent. We're going to have to come out and execute and play well, and the ball may have to bounce our ways a couple times in order for us to win, but we're just going to keep focusing on us and the things that we need to do to be successful.
Yeah, what are you telling your guys? You put them on the board. What are the keys to this ball game?
It's really the same for us every week. We take the approach that, we have 3 program rules. We have 3 expectations that we follow. Number 1 is for us to be a team. So our guys have to be together. They have to be excited for each other. They have to put the team first. Number 2, they have to be the most excited to play. So we need our guys to bring energy tomorrow. They need to be excited to be there from start to finish. And number 3, they have to be the best at doing their job. In our program, everybody's job is very specific. Whether it's as an offensive lineman or whether it's as the guy that has the ball in his hands all game long, or whether it's as a defensive back, or it could be a guy on the sideline that doesn't get an opportunity to play. They all have a job to do, and everybody's expected to do their job to the best of their ability. And if we do that, we feel like we put ourselves in the best position.
You got another home game, Coach. How important is that here in this quarterfinal matchup?
Well, I say I much prefer it to having to get on the bus and travel to Bridgeport. We think we're a group that can travel. We think we're a group that can go compete on the road. But there's nothing like playing in front of your home crowd on your home field and having the ability to kind of stay in your routine. So we're really fortunate to be put in the position where we're able to play this game at home.
All right, it'll be Sandy Creek and Bridgeport coming up this afternoon here on Extreme Sports. We'll have it for you. 4:45 for the pregame show today, 5 o'clock for the kickoff. The Cougars and the Bulldogs coming up in the state high school football playoffs, quarterfinals in Class D1.
Get to enjoy a little Friday night action, too, after a 5 o'clock kickoff. So that's good, pushing that up just a little bit. And, looking forward to listening and watching to that contest here as the Sandy Creek Cougars continue in their playoff run, and should be a fun one today from the Hill.
We'll have it for you right here. It's 7:53. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Grand Island Fire Department has officially completed its transition to the new Fire Station Number 3, marking the end of an era of the department's longtime facility on South Webb Road. Crews began demolishing the former Station Number 3 on Wednesday morning, clearing the way for the final site work on the new facility's parking lot. Originally built in 1987, the old station served the southwest portion of Grand Island for nearly 4 decades. The new Fire Station Number 3 will feature More than 500 additional square feet, a larger truck bay, expanded living quarters, and modern safety features. 9 firefighters will staff the station across 3 shifts with capacity to grow to 15. Meanwhile, out in southwest Nebraska, the facility formerly known as the McCook Work Ethic Camp is now housing detainees under the custody of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. According to Governor Jim Pillen, it became operational as detention space for ICE on Monday night with around 50 to 60 detainees as of yesterday morning and a target capacity of 200 here in the first phase. A second construction phase to add another 100 beds is planned to open in early 2026. Locally, there is opposition, however, as McCook residents have filed a lawsuit seeking to stop the conversion of the work camp into an immigration detention facility. A temporary injunction on that lawsuit was denied. The American Civil Liberties Union of Nebraska states that it will continue to challenge the project as well, calling it a disgraceful stunt and pledging to ensure that detainee rights are respected. 5 minutes until 8 o'clock. Let's head over to Mike Will over on the east side with your check on sports.
Yeah, the Nebraska volleyball team beat Illinois 25-11, 25-15, 25-14 last night at the Devaney Center. It was the 14th consecutive sweep for the Huskers. Nebraska has now won 43 sets in a row. Andy Jackson led the way with 9 kills. Nebraska now 23-0 in the season, 13-0 in the conference. They'll play at Minnesota on Saturday. First serve will be at 2:30. At the state high school volleyball tournament yesterday, Utan, Freeman, Oakland Craig, and Laurel Concord Coleridge won opening round games in Class C2. The D1 winners were Amherst, Exeter Milligan Friend, Overton, and Shelton. In Class D2, Wynot beat Red Cloud 25-23, 25-13, and 25-19. The other winners were Dundee County Stratton, Sumner Eddyville Miller, and Cambridge. Semifinals will be played today. The finals are set for Saturday. State high school football playoffs continue tonight. As we mentioned, Sandy Creek will play Bridgeport in the quarterfinals of the D1 state playoffs. Kickoff at 5. We'll have the game on Extreme Sports beginning with the pregame at 4:45 this afternoon. Some of the other games today, Kearney will play at Omaha West Side. Aurora is at Columbus Lakeview. Archbishop Bergen is at Grand Island Central Catholic. Malcolm is at Kearney Catholic. Lawrence Nelson is at Howells Dodge. Silver Lake is at Garden County. And Red Cloud is at Wallace. To check in your sports headlines at 7:57 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Chilly weather is on the way as we close out the weekend, but first on Friday, plenty of sunshine, a high in the mid-60s, and a west-northwest wind gusting up to 20 miles per hour. On Saturday, we cranked the winds up out of the northwest, gusting to 30 miles per hour, highs in the mid-50s with mostly sunny skies. Saturday night to Sunday morning, we're in the low 20s. Sunday with a high of 37 under mostly sunny skies. 17 to start off Monday morning, 45 and sunny on Monday.
West winds this morning at 9 miles per hour, partly cloudy. It is 42 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
At Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center in Hastings, you can now experience the Balancer Pro lymphatic system, a relaxing, touchless treatment that works while you simply sit back. Using the principles of manual lymphatic drainage, it helps flush out swelling, reduce toxins, ease muscle soreness, and promote total body wellness. Whether you're recovering from surgery, looking to contour and tone, aiming for weight loss, or just wanting to feel lighter and more energized, the Balancer Pro lymphatic system delivers results you can feel immediately. Perfect for athletes, post-op recovery, detox, or anyone who just wants to look and feel their best, because it's for everybody with a body. Come try it today at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings.
Conant Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
Have you checked the time lately? Good chance a Miletta Vista Winery is open. Hey, this is Mick with an update on our new hours. Tuesday through Sunday, we're open 11:30 to 3, and Fridays and Saturdays 11:30 till 9. Not sure what you want to enjoy when you get here? Well, Miletta Vista features award-winning wine, select beers, spirits, world-class foods, breathtaking views, and live entertainment. Visit MilettaVistaWinery.com. Check out our events page for music schedules and more. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Make your reservations now at Miletta Vista Winery, located on Highway 281, just north of St. Paul.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson Vronick with you. It's a Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for a Friday. In football in a little bit, Sandy Creek and Bridgeport, 4:45 for the pregame show this afternoon, 5 o'clock for the kickoff from the Hill. Again, the two survivor picks we've got for this weekend. Ty Schleicher is on the Carolina in their ball game against the Saints. Tyler Moritz is on Buffalo in their ball game against Miami. So Schleicher and Moritz, the only two people left on Survivor Island. We could have a winner of our grand prize coming up by Monday morning. I think I like the Buffalo pick.
Yeah.
Carolina, I would be a little iffy taking that one, but Ty Schleicher has hit 9 in a row so far. So we'll see what happens with the Carolina pick over the Saints this weekend.
I think it's going to depend on the status for Rico for me. If Rico can't go, that offense is going to change pretty dynamically over at Carolina, and I'd probably lean closer to New Orleans. But, again, Alvin Kamara's got an ankle injury, and he clearly has not been the Alvin Kamara that we know he's capable of being. So that's concerning. Both run games kind of iffy. And, it'd be I feel safe with Carolina being the pick if I'm Ty Schleicher. So I'd roll with the Panthers this week.
All right, so we'll be watching those two games in the NFL this weekend. The Huskers, I know where you're at. You've got them in your Blazing Five. You like Nebraska to go out to win at UCLA on Saturday.
I do. I'm going to go ahead and throw a score prediction at you. You look at the numbers, and this one, you can throw in the TJ Lateef factor all you want, backup quarterback, and all the panic buttons that got pressed over the course of the week. I don't see it. If I'm reading this baby on paper, our passing defense, our secondary is freaking, and that's PG because we're at the breakfast table. It's freaking elite, man. We held one of the nation's best offenses to under 200 in the passing category. UCLA's rushing defense is dog crap. They can't stop anything. Emmett Johnson is maybe the best running back in college football. I'll go ahead and say it. Best running back in college football. Advantage Nebraska because we're going to be a run-first team, but we're not going to be sitting and designing a lot of deep pass plays and stretch the field. You got TJ Lateef who can take off and can run. I think our run game is going to absolutely dominate this football game, and in that, I say dominate this football game. It'll be one of those where we're comfortably in control, but the scoreline's never really showcasing that. But I see 27-17, Nebraska by 10, a nice road win in Pasadena to get set to go to Happy Valley next week. So I think we'll silence some doubters. I think we'll get people starting to come back onto the bandwagon, so to speak. And after a tough loss against a top 25 caliber team, I'm all on board with what Rule is saying, right? Because it is all about now. Either you heal now. That was a stinging loss, but it was a loss that we played really good football in. And so if this team can come together, I think we could have a fun finish to the season.
You know what?
Next two games, 27-17.
You are so wishy-washy.
What are you talking about?
After the Minnesota game.
That was a shit game.
Yeah, and you got on here all week long and said, you're through. You're through, Husker bandwagon. I'm through. I'm not. No. I'm through. And now you're jumping on board and you think we're the best team since, you know what. That's all right. You can be wishy-washy. You can jump back onto the bandwagon. You've got a free pass to get back on the bandwagon. Shane has chimed in. He thinks Nebraska will win by 4, 24-20. Russ has chimed in on our social media sites. He says a 3-5 team that fired their head coach, their offensive coordinator, and their defensive coordinator and just got blown out by Indiana 56-6 is favored to beat us this weekend.
Sure. I don't think I'm wishy-washy. Take that back.
No, after the Minnesota game, you were all done with Nebraska football.
I was done with Nebraska football in terms of hyping this team up to make a run towards the postseason.
And now you're jumping on board, and we're going to go out and beat UCLA with a backup quarterback.
Absolutely.
And we're going to dominate the game against UCLA. Most of the rushing statistics that you say UCLA can't stop the rush occurred in the first 2, maybe 3 games of the season. They've made a lot of changes since. Yeah, they made a lot of changes since then.
Run the damn ball.
That's what we're going to see this weekend.
If we do it, we're going to be successful.
Russ has also chimed in. You were talking about TJ Lateef.
Yeah, love him.
5 of 7 yards. 5 of 7 last week. 7 yards last week.
Didn't have the right play call. Didn't have the right play sheet.
Why not?
Give him a week. Give him a week in practice. My God.
All right, so
now who's being the Debbie Downers on this show?
No, I'm gonna. I must say we're gonna go out and win. I'll say we'll go out there and beat UCLA.
Good,
but I think it's gonna be a close game. I think this could go either way.
27-17 is close.
No, I'm thinking more like 23-21.
Cardiac kid shit again.
Yeah, it come down to the last, like all Big Ten games are this year. I'm going to say Nebraska goes out there to squeak out a 23-21 victory over UCLA. But don't be surprised. Don't be surprised that UCLA beats us this weekend.
That's so on the fence.
I know it is.
That's such an on the fence response.
23
I'm going to predict Nebraska, but just to cover my tracks so I don't have to eat crow on Monday's show.
Well,
we might lose too.
What scares me is the guys in Vegas that are supposed to be the experts that put these lines together and they hit them most of the time. They've got UCLA favored by 1.5 to 2 points for a reason. They've got UCLA favored by 1.5 or 2 points for a reason.
Yep.
So that's why I'm saying don't be surprised that.
And the reason is that TJ Lateef went 5 of 7 for 7 yards in his only showing, really, other than the Akron game. They have nothing to go on other than statistics. So this is going to be one where Vegas is going to eat. Have to eat their own stuff.
And I hope you're right.
We're winning this football game. Here, drink some Roulade. Big gulp.
Big gulp. We got clear till 8 o'clock tomorrow night to gulp as much Roulade as you need.
Oh, I can't wait.
All right. We covered a lot of ground this hour, so if you'd like to listen to the show again, you can. It was a big download last week. Our show last Friday, coupled with the Sandy Creek game that we had last Friday, we had over 700 downloads last week. So I anticipate that again. We covered a lot of stuff here during this past hour. So if you'd like to listen to the show again, just download it. You can listen to it at your convenience today. Fred Hoiberg was on. We had Matt Rule on. Danny Busboom Kelly talking about her game last night. Andrew Kuda for Sandy Creek. So if you'd like to listen to the show again, just download it, listen to it at your convenience. Have yourself a great weekend. We'll see you again on Monday morning at 7 here on Extreme Sports.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.